Dawn, The Chase Begins Again was released in 2006 and stars Shah Rukh Khan, Priyanka Chopra, and Boman Irani. And in this movie, a police officer recruits a man who looks exactly like crime boss Dawn to infiltrate his criminal empire and take it down. So with the release of Pathaan just around the corner, it's Shah Rukh Khan's first movie in what, 4 or 5 years. It's a big deal, it's a big release that's happening. So to prepare us and me for this big premiere, I thought let's look back at a big blockbuster action film that Shah Rukh Khan came out with almost 20 years ago. Before I get into this review, I want to talk about my history with this movie. I was 7 when this movie came out in theaters, and I fell in love. I love Shah Rukh Khan, and I loved action movies, so this was like everything I needed as a little boy. And I remember that I went to Pakistan to go visit some family, and they had it on DVD, and I literally watched it every single day, and I never got tired of it. But this is actually my first time watching Dawn in a very long time, so I was surprised by myself. I was like, man, when was the last time I watched this movie? But I sat down and watched it, so let's see if nostalgia still holds up. Also, I will be getting into spoilers. I know this movie came out in 2006, but this movie has a lot of twists and turns, so I will be getting into them, so here's your warning. Well, starting off with the positives for Dawn, The Chase Begins Again. Wow, that's a really long title. This movie is actually a remake of Amitabh Bachchan's movie of the same name that came out in the 70s. Now, why do I appreciate this? Because it is a remake, yeah, but they do make it their own. That's why I love this movie so much. If you're making a remake and all you do is just a shot-for-shot remake of the original, then why watch the remake? Not in this case, though, because this movie takes everything that the 70s did and made it even bigger and better. Obviously, it's in modern times, so they modernized it, and they really went all out in trying to make this movie honor the old school while also making it new school and making it their own. And with the remake, we're naturally going to start comparing characters, so let's talk about the characters. Let's talk about Shah Rukh Khan as Dawn. This is one of his best performances. I know I say that a lot when I'm reviewing his movies because it seems like he puts on like a filmfare level performance every time he acts, but man, it really is a case here. I mean, he was so good in this movie. It's a testament to how good of an actor he is because he is one of few actors that when you look at him and you see his movies, you're like, man, I actually like him more as a villain than he is as a good guy. And he's known as the king of romance, that's really saying something. Now, comparing Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan's performances, they do play, although they play the same character, they're very different though. If you watch the 70s movie, Amitabh Bachchan, every time he kills somebody, he always has like this blank face. Like he's just like that. Like when he shoots somebody, he's just like blank face the entire time and that's it. It honestly feels like he's bored at that point because he's just such a normal part of life, which can be chilling in its own way because he's so cool about it. But you look at this movie, it's like Shah Rukh Khan likes killing. It actually scares the crap out of me because every time he's on screen, the dude has a sick smile, is laughing about killing people, and actually enjoys it. Like he actually likes it when people are as tortured as possible before he kills them, which is really interesting. I think a perfect scene to really show the difference in these characters is when Dawn kills Ramesh. Now in the 70s, what happens is that it's a really quick chase scene. He just gets in the car, leaves, and then Dawn was there the entire time and just shoots him. It's like a flash frame type thing. It's not that great of a kill, to be honest. But in the 2006 version, he gets in his house and makes Ramesh feel so safe and secure, like he's there to like wish him good luck in his life. He's like, hey man, if you just came up to me and tell me you wanted to leave, hey, it's no problem, let's just shake on it. And then he just poisons him, laughs while he's dying, tells him a one-liner, and then throws him in the pool. That is just straight up unhinged by Shah Rukh Khan. With every scene in the 2006 Dawn movie, you truly feel like Shah Rukh Khan's version of this character is just unhinged, like he just doesn't care about anybody. And you'd be right to assume that, because every scene he's in, it looks like he's going to murder every single person in that room, which really brings a new layer to this character. I think what also makes Dawn and Vijay such interesting characters in both the 70s and in this one is the character of Roma. Now, Roma is played by Priyanka Chopra in this one, or Priyanka Chopra Jonas. I gotta get used to saying that. Should I just say Priyanka Chopra? I'm just gonna say Priyanka Chopra. That's literally what I've been saying my whole life. I still haven't gotten used to the fact that she's married to a Jonas brother. But anyways, Priyanka Chopra plays Roma. Now, besides that whole martial arts introduction that we see her in, that's the first time we see this character. I like every other scene she's in. Besides that one scene, she is fantastic in this entire movie. What's so great about Priyanka Chopra's character is that Priyanka Chopra and Shah Rukh Khan have unbelievable chemistry. You know, when people talk about Shah Rukh Khan, they always say, oh, him and Kajol, him and Madhuri, but nobody really talks about him and Priyanka Chopra. They have fantastic chemistry. I'm really surprised, besides Dawn 1 and 2, they really never did any other movies together. Did they? I don't think they did. I think these are the only two movies that they did together where they're both the lead roles. I can't really, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything else. But they do have unbelievable out-of-this-world chemistry, and it makes every scene that they're in so enticing. Like, you love it. When he's Dawn, and you just see how ruthless he is and how he wants to kill her, but there's like this cat and mouse game. And of course, when he's Vijay, there's like this other side. There's like this slight romantic angle. There's this slight vulnerability between them. It just shows that they're people. So it's two totally different sequences, but they work so well together. I also loved Boman Irani's performances as DCP De Silva / Vardhan. He plays such a great character who unfortunately does get overlooked because Shah Rukh Khan is the star of this show. He does put on the best performance. But I do want to give some love to Boman Irani, who plays the secret gangster who is a police officer that is trying to get back the criminal empire that he once lost. Such an amazing character that is a great part of this film that adds another layer to this cat and mouse game. A great performance that does unfortunately get overlooked. The action scenes are also a lot of fun to watch. Now, I wouldn't exactly call this movie an action film. I kind of categorize this more as a crime thriller because of all the twists and turns that are happening. But the action sequences that we do get are really good and actually really grounded. The funny thing is, with all the car chases, the explosions, the jumping out of an airplane, fighting over a parachute, all the martial arts sequences, those are surprisingly grounded because Bollywood does tend to do a lot of over-the-top action sequences, which become now a staple of Bollywood films. I do like the fact that sometimes we can watch an action or a crime thriller and see a lot of grounded action where it looks actually kind of realistic. We're like, okay, I could realistically see this fight going down. It's not like one punch and somebody's doing 1,000 flips in the air. It's really just one punch, dude's bleeding and he's knocked out. So I do personally appreciate more grounded action. I have no problem with over-the-top action, but I do appreciate Dawn 2006 going more for a grounded approach. Now, why do I like this movie more than the original one? For one big reason and one big reason only: the ending. This is still one of the greatest twists in movie history. I remember when I watched this movie, my jaw hit the floor because I couldn't believe what I just witnessed. So for those of you who don't know, the original movie saw that, Dawn gets killed, so Vijay takes over, who looks like Dawn. He becomes Dawn, blah, blah, blah. Him and Roma get together. They actually find out Vardhan is the real villain of this movie. They take him down. They take down the whole criminal empire. Everybody lives happily ever after. But in this one, Dawn actually never dies. He's in the hospital, and DCP De Silva tells Vijay, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make you look like him. We're going to tell you the plan, blah, blah, blah. Now, Dawn dies in the hospital, and the entire sequence, you think that you're with Vijay the entire time. He falls in love with Roma. Roma says, I love you. But then at the end, he says, Mujhe chamliye bili bahut pasand hai, which is, oh my God, that's what Dawn said when they first met. What? And it goes through this whole sequence where it shows that Dawn actually never died. In the middle of the night in the hospital, he woke up, switched places with Vijay, kills Vijay, and we're stuck with Dawn the entire time. It was, oh my God, like I'm getting chills right now because it is seriously fantastic writing by Farhan Akhtar. He literally tricks everybody and Dawn wins in the end, and you feel betrayed, but like in a good way. I don't think I've ever said that before. You're just so hurt that like this character that you love so much actually was dead the entire time. That is truly insane. The reason why this twist works so well is because it had the advantage of being a remake. Because everybody knew what the original movie was. Everybody's like, oh, I already know how the movie ends. I'll just watch it because, Shah Rukh Khan's in it. But the fact that this twist happened, it made you appreciate this movie even more, and it makes you want to rewatch this movie again to try and figure out, man, how did it happen? Is he Dawn? What happened? How did this take place? And honestly, what makes this movie so good is that when you rewatch it, you see it from a different lens. Obviously, you won't get the same reaction as when you first figure out that Vijay is Dawn the entire time. But when you look back at this movie, you see slight acting details that Shah Rukh Khan does that makes you realize that that is not Vijay. Like take for instance, when they go to the school where Deepu is at, and Deepu looks at him, there's honestly confusion on his face, and then he does like that smile like, oh yeah. When you look back at it, you're like, oh my God, that is Dawn. So that's just great acting by Shah Rukh Khan, fantastic directing by Farhan Akhtar, that makes Dawn 2006, in my opinion, better than the original. Now, in terms of mix, this movie isn't perfect. The only thing I'm really mixed on is Arjun Rampal's character. Like, I have no problem with his character. I actually really like the subplot. The only problem I have is that I think the original handled his subplot a lot better. Because if you look at the original movie, they tend to focus more on the supporting characters, whereas Dawn 2006 focused way more on Dawn as a character and Roma and their relationship rather than the supporting characters. The supporting characters, while they are interesting, don't get as much time as they do in the original. I get it, remakes want to do something different, and they do. They hit it out of the park, but in terms of supporting characters, I really do feel that the original did that a little bit better. Now for negatives, I only have one. And it's not about plot, it's not about this, it's about something. Physically something. There's this disc in the movie that everybody is going crazy after. It has all like the contacts and all the money, blah, 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 right? It's this biggest thing. This little disc is what it's driving everybody insane. Dawn needs it, Vijay needs it, DCP De Silva Verdun needs it, Sincania needs it. Everybody is going after this stupid little disc. And it's not a CD. No, it's a straight up PSP disc. Like they keep trying to pull it as like this uber like secret intelligence disc that like only certain people have, when in reality it's a PSP disc. It makes me laugh so hard because every time I see that, it just makes me think they're fighting over the latest PSP video game. So that's just a little thing that just really makes me laugh, and I have to put it as a negative. But again, it doesn't ruin the movie for me. I still absolutely love this movie, but every time Shah Rukh Khan is holding it and they're like talking about it in such a serious way, I just can't help but laugh. But overall, guys, Dawn, The Chase Begins Again is an incredible movie. Yes, it's a remake, but it honestly makes you feel like it's its own thing, to the point where people honestly kind of forgot about the original film, which I hate because I do enjoy the original film, but I do enjoy this movie a bit more. I love Dawn, The Chase Begins Again, and because of that, it gets an A. It was so successful at the box office critically, and, you know, fans loved it, that it got a lot of awards, and of course it made a lot of money, and it was so good that it created a sequel in Dawn 2, which, was it as good? I don't know. I'll talk about it when I get a chance, but for now, Dawn 2006 gets an A. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.